What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So as you can see behind me, we've got the Tahoe here again. You guys might have seen this a couple videos back. We did some draggy testing using a few different tuners on this thing. It's a 2015 Tahoe with the LT in it. So if you guys want to see that, make sure to go back on the channel and check it out. But today we're going to be working on deleting the muffler, making this thing sound a little bit better. Right now it's super quiet, you can barely hear it. So we're going to try to fix that today. I'll show you guys what we're going to use to do it and how we're going to go about doing it. So let's get through the intro and jump right into today's video. Alright guys, so now that we've gotten through the intro, I'm going to give you guys a look at what we're going to be using to do this. We might not use all of these parts, but we wanted to have them just in case we needed them. So we've got a bunch of 3-inch piping here. This is from the GTO exhaust that we made. Then we picked up a couple extra lengths just in case, some adapters, and then a turn down for the back. We're not 100% sure how exactly we're going to plumb this yet, but once we get under there, cut it out, and start figuring out where we want to weld and where we want to make this thing serviceable so it can still come apart, we will start attacking it from there. So let's go ahead, get under this thing, take a look at it, and decide where we want to make our first cut. So before we go ahead and start cutting this thing up, I want you to hear what it sounds like before. The thing is super quiet, so we'll go ahead and fire this thing up. You can literally barely hear it. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting this thing up, getting rid of the big suitcase muffler, and then dealing with the resonator in the back and make ourselves a nice new exhaust. So let's go ahead and get under this thing and start coming up with a plan of attack. All right guys, so as you can see, we're under the Tahoe now, and we're gonna leave all the cats, but you can see a clamp right there. So we're gonna start with undoing that and then working our way back. And then you've got the big suitcase muffler back here. That's what we're trying to delete today, and the resonator all the way at the back. So I'm gonna start undoing the clamp, and then we will start undoing the rubber hangers and just work our way right through it, get this thing dropped, and if we have to, cut it to get it out, but I'm hoping we can get it out all in one piece. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. All right, so this clamp is a 13. We're gonna go ahead and start popping this off. We already sprayed it with some oil earlier. Try to get this clamp right out of the way so we don't screw it up. All right, so now that we got that clamp loose, we can start working on the rubber hangers. All right, so as you guys can see, we went ahead and cut the resonator off that was back here. Forgot to turn the camera on, but we just lopped it off with a Sawzall real quick, and we got the ground strap disconnected that goes to this hanger. And now we're gonna go ahead and undo this last rubber hanger so that we can get this exhaust out of here. Might drop this time. All right. Now our exhaust is nice and loose. We should be able to work this thing out of here carefully. Careful. It's gonna drop on you.
I'm ready for it.
All right. So if it wasn't for that hanger, it would have came right out, but not with that resonator on it. With that resonator that we cut off, I don't think there's any way you would have gotten it out. So that's why I'd like to make this a multi-piece system so it comes in and out easier for if we ever want to change something. So let's go ahead and get out, take a look at the muffler, how we want to cut it, and modify it to make our new system. All right guys, so this is the exhaust that we just took out. We're gonna get rid of this muffler here and then put a section in. Not sure if you guys can tell on camera, but where the pipe goes into the muffler over here is a little bit offset to where it comes out over there. So if we have to, we'll do some pie cuts and weld them up, but ideally, I'd like to just use this flex piece for now as our bend because it does have plenty of movement. So we'll give that a shot, but for now, let's go ahead and start this thing up and see what it sounds like without the muffler on it. Definitely sounds way better. It's got those 3 cats, and you can tell it's still a little quiet for cutting all the mufflers out, but it sounds way better. I think she'll like that. So let's go ahead and get to work on these mufflers. Alright guys, so we got this front section of pipe up on the welding table, and we're going to go ahead and get this adapter tacked onto there. We're not going for the prettiest exhaust in the world, just something that's going to work on the low budget. So we're going to make it work. We're going to get the adapter tacked onto here. Then we've got the tail section. We're going to do the same thing, tack an adapter onto that. And then we will bring it over to the car and start test fitting for the section that's going to replace the muffler. Get it all mocked up, and then we will come back over and finish weld it. Alright, so we've got the 3-inch section that we're going to be putting in place of the muffler, but they didn't have one piece long enough, so we're using what he just bought, and we're going to go ahead and weld them together. So we'll get these welded up, and then we will measure and cut our 25 inches that we want to replace the muffler. So we'll get this welded up, and then we can go test fit it on the Tahoe. So I want it tight to this side. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, it's going to be close. Alright guys, so this is almost like an active exhaust valve. It's just manual. The exhaust flow opens this. We tested it before, but the spring is really tight and we don't feel like cutting it out. So I'm just going to use this scrap piece of angle iron I have, and we're just going to weld it there and there to hold it wide open for now. We might replace this section at some point anyway, so we're just going to go with this for now. Sorry for the background noise, but we went ahead and mocked this up to get the tip on here, made our mark, and we just got it tacked on. So we're going to go ahead and finish welding the tip onto the rest of our pipe, and then we can go ahead and reassemble. So let's get this one welded up.
It sounds like it would be your type of idea too. That worked really well.
Alright. You might want to do the inside one. Maybe not. I don't know. That's your gig back there. I'll let you figure it out. Because the nice guy I am. You don't get the special tool though, because you were talking shit. There you go. Alright guys, so now while he's back there finishing up getting the tailpipe section on, we're going to go ahead and start using this band clamp. This is what we decided to use in this spot so that it's still a modular design. We can still take this center section out if we need to or want to, just to make it easier, because it's kind of a pain to get the big portion of this system out. So it's gonna work for now for what we need, so that's all that really matters. We're just gonna go ahead and take this, we'll get this tightened up, and then we can tighten up that front donut style clamp and fire this up and take it for a ride and see how it sounds. It's gonna be a pretty good sounding cop car.
Yeah.
Ex-cop car, but cop car. Last thing we got to do is just double check this donut style clamp up here. That one's tight. All right, let's take a look at this thing. Came out pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
Obviously could have done like a cleaner job if we wanted to spend the money and do stainless and everything else, but for what we were working with, I think it came out phenomenal. Let's go take a look at the tailpipe and then fire this thing up and take it for a ride. All right, guys, well, the turn down worked out pretty good. I'm actually happy with the placement. It's very close to where the factory resonator was, and you don't see it still. You might just catch the tip of it depending on your angle, but I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead, fire this thing up and see how it sounds now. Alright guys, let's clean up some tools and go take this thing for a ride. Alright guys, let's go take the old cop car for a ride. It's still nice and quiet at idle, but when you rev it up it sounds pretty good, so I think it's going to work out. I think it sounds pretty good. Definitely sounds way better than it did before. That's good. This thing sounds good. This thing sounds real good.
Yeah, it does.
That's good. Alright guys, so there you have it. We went ahead and cut the muffler off the old cop car. It sounds way better. It's not too loud where you wouldn't want to daily drive it. It's actually pretty tame for driving around and for idles, but it sounds really good on a cold start and when you jump on it. So we're really happy with how it came out. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell, and we will catch you on the next one.